this is the exact plan what I would do if I want to be consistently profitable in less than 1 year. And based on my students' results, I know for a fact you can achieve it, sometimes even in a couple of months. I'm gonna show you what you should focus on at the first place, then moving into another step, and basically this is my 3 key step plan, and I will try to explain to you as quickly and as simple as possible what each step basically require. And the ultimate goal for this video, as much information and tips as possible so you can literally save years on your trading journey. Before we go into the first step, I need to talk about the most important thing when it comes to the trading. Basically, before you even start paying attention to trading itself, you need to understand 2 things that literally took me now almost decades of trading experience. The thing number 1 is you need to have, if you want to be consistently profitable trader, you need to have a healthy confidence. Basically, confidence is a state of mind. You need to have enough confidence to execute the trade, to follow the plan, and so on, so on. Not gonna go into the details because I believe plenty people left the video, and I can tell that's the exact people who will watch some very easy to follow simple system on the YouTube, gonna try, fail, got liquidated in the worst case, and repeat this vicious cycle over and over, and they probably gonna see this video in the next year and repeat the same process. But if you don't fall into this loser mentality, just pay attention. The second one is basically discipline. I'm talking about the emotional discipline, but also the work ethic, and so on, so on. Emotional discipline, basically to have enough stomach to follow your plan under the pressure of very uncomfortable situation, side by side having a healthy confidence. This is literally the most powerful thing that you can have in the trading. With that being said, basically the first step before you even start is you need to learn. Before we go into a technical, and I already actually created some framework for Trading Edge, we should go here to realize a few things. I believe, based on my experience and also the students that I used to teach, every consistently profitable trader that I spoke to can confirm that this is literally hard true in the market. Trading is basically 10% about the technical edge and the 90% about the mental edge. The technical edge is the system that you can basically learn within a couple of weeks or the months, but the mental edge in a lot of cases can take you even a decade. Before you start this trading journey, please, you need to understand this. This is really important. In the technical edge, before you start looking for the system, you need to understand that there's gonna be a lot of things that will be very overwhelming for you. Your mission is to take this complexity and turn it into a simple system. Meaning, if you having 10 rules to your system, make it 3. What I'm trying to say is you need to jump into learning a technical edge by already knowing that you need to simplify the system. This mindset can push you ahead of 90% traders, and like I said, can literally save you years of really bad experience, which you obviously don't want it. That was from the technical part. And from the mental side, you need to focus on your performance. Focus and measure your performance, not the P&L. It's really simple. If you're gonna be focusing on this $sign, your trading edge in the market would be probably something like here. And there is no shot, there is literally 0% chance you will make it as a trader if you're gonna focus on the $sign in the first place. Yes, I understand we all wanted to make money going into the trading space, but you can go to any profitable trader and they will most likely tell you once you stop focusing on the money, you will start making a lot of money. Now, there is also one thing that is very essential, and I see so many people just wasting way too much time. Here's a few things that you should definitely avoid. 100% avoid the social media. Personally, I don't even watch anyone. I don't use the social media except this YouTube channel. Simply because everyone is unique, and if you're gonna have too many focuses, you will not have enough time and energy to focus on your own problem. Stop overthinking. Trading, especially trading system, doesn't have to be too complicated. You don't need to spend hours to figure it out if you have to buy or to sell. You can take, for example, my MVM system. It took me a fair few years to understand and simplify this concept, but now my system is really simple and it takes me just a few minutes to understand where the price very likely gonna move and I can make a well-educated decision. I can tell, and I've been proven hundreds of people that come and go throughout my YouTube journey. Almost every single one who never make it was hopping from one strategy to another one. And like I already mentioned, the complexity is a literally killer to your progression. Make it as simple as possible. And if you have a problem to reminding these things, just make a checklist if you must. But like I said here, before you start, you need to understand this and even write a checklist that you have to remind yourself what you need to focus on and what you need to avoid in order to make it really quick. Now, coming to the learning part. So I assume everyone wants to learn the trading. I assume everyone wants to learn some strategy. This is literally a framework that working really well for me and based on my experience. Usually you should find a very basic system, whether it's moving average or perhaps my MVM system or maybe structure Fibonacci. It doesn't freaking matter what it is. You will try to understand one simple basic system. What you're gonna do about it is you're gonna test that system. You will go to the TradingView chart or any charting platform and you're gonna start collecting data. If the basic system is basically too shabby and doesn't give you a decent results, you will be adding some variables or validations based on your time, based on some technical side. Also, what is your invalidations? You will add some specific criteria, objective criteria, so you can refine whether to take this or that trade. Always make sure to focus on objective criteria. For example, there could be time in the day on the week. It could also be some specific candle closure. It could be the moving crossover. All these things can be basically coded and they are very objective. Once you're adding these variables, your system will become a little bit more complex. Now what I usually do is I try to cut and trim this complexity as much as possible. If there is something extra to my system and I really don't need it or doesn't make any significant difference, I just cut it out. What I'm basically aiming here in this step is to simplify my process. I don't need to do too much decision making. This is really important. I will check my data if I'm having the better results. If not, then basically this process repeating over and over. But if I finally have the good data, I'm asking myself the only and one important, the most important question. Is this entire system very easy for me to execute? Because you can have such a super algorithmic 95% whatever bullshit strategy, but if it's hard to execute, you will still not gonna make it. I really don't care about how good the system is if I cannot execute it. And if the system is easy to execute, I basically now maintaining my system and I can focus on the next step. Now, if you're struggling, what you should be focused on when it comes to your technical part, I would be focusing at least on three things. I would be focusing on liquidity, which is very important and probably one of the most important knowledge to have in the trading market or trading space. And I already made a video about it, by the way, so feel free to check it out after this video. Then I will be focusing on the volume/candle or the volume candle, basically to understand where the buyers or the sellers more likely are in the control. And the third thing, which is also technical, I would be focusing on risk management. You can also have a shitty or the crappy strategy, but if you tweak your risk management, you can literally milk the market. Now, there is basically the rule of thumb here. In our Discord, we always say it KISSLES, which means keep it simple, lumber soon. I would focus, I call it the rule of three, because what I would be doing, whether it's technical part, whether it's my morning routine, no matter what it is, I would be always focusing just on three the most significant points that making the most impact on my journey. Then we finally getting into the step 2. At this point, I know my technical edge and I am basically starting to testing the water in the market. I was gonna say 95% people not gonna even come closer to the step 1, but what I'm telling you here, 95% people don't even realize this. Or maybe they realize it, but they never gonna act upon it. Anyway, with that being said, moving here, I would be creating some trading journal, because the data side by side with the confidence and your emotional discipline, this is literally all you will need for the rest of your life. Take example here on my trading journal. Obviously I track what the date I basically took the trade, because that's going for my entire trading log of 2024. I mean, now it's gonna be 25. But what is also important, as you can see here, I am tracking the specific day, so I can figure out what is my weakest performance when it comes to the days. And let's say Monday, Tuesday, and the Wednesday making me the most money, but I'm losing a lot on the Friday. So simply knowing my data and perhaps avoiding the Friday trades, this single and stupid piece of information can make a huge difference between making 50k per year to making maybe $500,000. It's really that significant. Also, obviously, I'm tracking some time and also my entry setups and perhaps some criterias. But I already made 2 videos about this, so I'm not gonna go into the detail. You can check it out on my YouTube channel as well. When it comes to this step number 2, this is where you're gonna create the most magic. Because once you establish on the step 2, you basically becoming a consistently profitable at this point. This is the most obviously easiest part, but it still takes a lot of dedication. You need to collect as much experience as possible. What you're gonna do later is you're gonna take that experience side by side with your data and you will do regular self-reflection. You need to understand what are your major weaknesses, and in a lot of cases, and what I would personally do, I would try to use that weakness as my strength in the future. This tricky piece right here is probably one of the most difficult part as far as I've seen in the trading space. But the good news is you can join perhaps our Discord and become part of the community, so you are not alone on this. And basically the last one, you need to give yourself feedback, or perhaps from your mentor, or like I said, the community, and you need to use that feedback to boost and improve your experience, and then this become basically the never-ending cycle. But the good part is once you establish this route, the trading becomes way easier. Obviously I'm gonna talk about the timeline, but now let me talk about briefly in the last step. And the last step is basically the scaling, meaning you already establish some certain trading performance and now it's time to grow your PNL. In order to scale, this will be extremely important, to be honest. You need to be emotionally ready. Do you remember what I was talking about at the beginning? To having the confidence, discipline, and all these crap that probably most people didn't even paying attention to? Yeah, now we're coming back to the same stupid thing. If you not emotionally ready and if you still chasing the PNL and doing dumb shit, you are eventually going back right around here before even having this first step. Okay, let's say I am emotionally ready. Next step, or the next thing you need to do, is you need to be ready also from your technical side. What the heck does this mean? Well, I'm basically talking about the scalable setups, a specific trading setup that is happening in the market on a regular basis, something that happening regularly in the trading market, so you can use the knowledge and add more money into it. Good example of the scalable setup is my MVM system, my momentum setup, where I'm basically waiting for the key high time frame level. On that level, I am waiting for a specific price candle and the price action to give me confirmation to take a trade. What I believe is almost equally important is to having the effective plan. Basically, you're not gonna waste too much time, but also the money as you're trying to scale your account or your trading performance. Because there are a lot of people who thinking the trading more, meaning more money. You will know about your effective plan based on the previous step if you diligently focusing on these. And the last part is obviously you want to have a little bit of the capital so you can scale. But again, like I said, if you not emotionally ready, you literally gonna be burning your money. I genuinely believe that in the demo environment, I would say even the 1 month can be too much. But obviously it depends on your dedication. If you're gonna spend just 1 hour a day, 3 months gonna be plenty. But if you're gonna be like me when I started, I dedicated 10 to 12 hours a day to figure out whether the trading is for me or not. But either way, I would say up to 3 months is something that I would do personally, because the demo environment, besides the technical part, will teach you nothing. I haven't seen a single person who would spend a 6 month or year in the demo environment and be mentally ready, successfully trade and become a consistently profitable trader. Never happened, never seen it in my entire lifetime. Obviously, after demo environment, you want to go live. Please, I don't mean to go and put 50k on your account and start trading. This is not what I mean. In vast majority of the market, you can trade with little to no money. So if you're putting even $100 or $50 to your name, this is plenty, and just take this as your education fee. Because if you're gonna take this as an education fee, you will immediately start embracing the risk management and a little bit of the good mentality as a trader. This period, usually I would say for 90% people, it takes 5-6 years, and they still struggling here and dropping from live environment to the demo environment. But like I said, they will never do such a thing. But based on my students, I would say it takes up to 24 months. But to be honest, most of the people I've seen made it in the less than 12 months. Then you will start thinking about the scaling. And again, I've seen so many people doing the scaling in 6-month period, and guess what? They were not emotionally ready. And guess what happened with the mentality? They will lose the confidence that might gonna even affect the emotional discipline, and we coming back to this shitty demo environment. Don't be stubborn, don't be stupid, and please take your time. And the last thing is, when it comes to the live environment, what you should be doing is basically these 4 things. You should be collecting data. You should pay attention to your self-reflection, because like I already mentioned a couple of times, this will be huge life light bulb moment in your trading career. Then, because you obviously don't want to be stuck in trading pennies, you gotta be refining your technical and the mental edge. And the last thing is another self-reflection. And if you feel like you're not progressing forward, you can always reach out to us.